it faded away, because what he'll do, you could see when he was getting close to the ball. Okay, this is what I was talking about, where we don't try not to get the kids to do that to get that curve going. Okay, he plants his foot a long way away, and he's almost leaning back as he does it. And then as he strikes it, he's coming right round his body. He's working against his body to kick that. Now he's done that for a long period of time, so he's been able to allow for it. But he's eventually, when he really makes a mess of it, he's going to turn it inside and go across, because he's too far away from the ball. Okay, but like I said, he successfully kicked for a long time doing that. So we probably don't need to tinker with it too much until something goes wrong, until he starts to have an issue. If you watch the other one, which is Halligan, now he's straight up and down. He comes straight through the ball, and you're not getting as much turn, not as much hook on his ball. Okay, so he stands upright and he comes straight through. Now you watch. He makes all of these. The last one he misses, and have a look at how he misses it. Look for where his plant foot is. This isn't the miss. I think it's the next one. He shouldn't miss this one. See, straight through. The ball's coming straight through. He's standing up. He's got that almost that straight, like a 9-iron, because he's straight under his body with a shorter club. There's his miss. So what's he done there? You can see it really clearly. Yeah, his plant foot's where? Too close, and he's gone round the outside of the ball, and that's a huge miss for him. For him to miss by that far is enormous, because his kick is mostly straight. Okay, I just wanted to show you how that looks with higher skilled players, so that it makes sense. Sometimes I can tell it, I can talk about it all day. And what I want to look at is so when we look at the skill, we want to correct it. Okay, I always go through and I break down the video of the kicks that have happened throughout our game. Okay, and what I do is the three things that I look really closely at is the error. There's three things that can happen when there's an error. Okay, and I do this with all skills. Three major things. There's a tactical error. Okay, there's a tactical error. So if there's a tactical error, who owns that one? I own that. Okay, because I've asked the kicker, I've asked them to set up in a certain way, and I've asked them and I've coached them to respond in a certain way. So if it's tactical, it's my fault. And as a coach, it's really important to own those. So when that happens, because the player in their head, they're going to say, you asked me to get to this point, I got to that point and I kicked it, and I did what you asked and it didn't work. Okay, and you lose respect real quick with the players if you don't own those things. When it's a tactical mistake, it's yours. Okay, there's a mental error. So a mental error means that you've asked him to get to point A or B and set up for a kick and to kick to this point. Okay, and he's got to the wrong spot, wrong place. Okay, mental error is owned by the player. Okay, mental errors are far more difficult to fix than physical ones. Okay, because it takes a lot of repetition to get to correct that. Okay, sometimes with a skill error, physical error, which is the last type of error we can have, it's a really small thing. You can look at one small thing. I can look at that last kick by Halligan, and and I can tell him where the error is, and he would tell him. He knows where the error is. He doesn't need me to tell him. But yeah, so it's a bit more. It's a bit easier to understand when you can break it down into those sections. Okay, what do we do? What do we do with our kicks? So we've worked with our players individually. We've done individual time with them on kicks. We've said, okay, what are we going to do here? From this point, we'll try and work to here. If we work to there, we're going to kick to here. For example, what would you do? What would you do with you've got a kicker, okay, very accurate, but can't kick very far. What would you do with that? What would you do with that sort of kicker? What sort of tactics can you use to get the best out of their kick? Yeah, very much so. And launch point, where's he kicking from? Okay, if I stand in the middle of the field, I kick to the right corner, okay, that's a longer distance than if I stand 10 metres out from the sideline and kick straight. Okay, so you'll see with short kickers, you'll see them run they'll run the short side and kick straight to get the most out of their leg strength, whatever they've got. Most of your better kickers will have a good distance. It's where they land it and what they do with it when it gets there that's important. What are you looking for in a say a kick that you're kicking downfield to get yardage? What are you looking for? What's the big thing for a kicker? Space. Yeah, find space, hit the ground. How many times can you hit the ground? That's where Noddy's really good. He finds the ground all the time. It's always running away from the player. The player, you'll rarely ever see a player when in his kicking game pick up the ball coming forward, they're always chasing back to it. And that's a big, big deal. That's about 7 to 8 metres on your chase that helps you out if they have to turn. Okay? The launch point's really important. So where is he kicking from? You need to think carefully about what leg does he kick with, where are we trying to get to, and how long has that kicker got, and how are we setting that up. I call it your launch point, so it's your same as, where are they kicking, where are they going to kick from? Okay? What we will do when we go out there is we'll work our way down the field, and I'll go through what I sort of coach my kickers to do in certain parts of the field, okay, as well as the type of kick. The setup is crucial. The setup for the kick is really, really important, because the last tackle before the kick really determines what happens with the kick. Okay? If we're looking for yardage, we're looking to try and get out of our own area. What do we want out of that last tackle before the kick? Yeah, got to get to ground. Yeah, have to get to ground as quick as possible, and get that ball to the kicker as quick as possible, as hard. Rippity was saying, as hard as possible. Get it there so that they've got time to get the ball away. Okay. We also need to coach our kickers to know how to deal with it when it goes wrong. Okay. When I was going through the footage to pull out this footage to show you, there was lots of things going wrong, and from a poor kick that you'll see down the bottom here, Canterbury end up kicking from inside the Roosters half for the first half of the game. Okay. What I want you to do, just have a quick look at the first one. What I want you to do is just watch the couple of kicks that are done by Canterbury, and let me know how would you grade their kicking. What do you think of this? Here's their first one. Look at where they're starting from. Torpedo punt to a catch on the full but running backwards. Tackled there just outside the 20. That's not too bad from where he was, because he has a big kick, doesn't he? He has a big kick. Same kick. So he's taken it from nearly centre of the park, and he's put it in that corner. He wasn't able to find ground because they were dropping early. Okay, he wasn't able to find ground because they were dropping early. But that wasn't a bad ending to that. Really, the winger on that side, Elsgood, I think it was, wasn't it? Elsgood. He did a pretty good job from there. Okay, I'll look at last thing before we go. I'll just look at the couple of examples I've got from earlier on, and look at the way that the kick's changed. So you think about the way that we kick now, and think about how we set up for the kick, and the way that I'm not so much talking about the way they kick the ball, talking more about how they set up for the kick. And just have a look at how they set up in the 80s for it. Yeah. Good, nice spot to start. How would you grade that kick? Horrible. He's taken that from 30 metres out, was it 30, 35? And he's kicked it to a bloke on the full, in the corner, and in the corner where he's been able to get most of the way back out. There was only like a 10, 15 metre gain on that. Okay. How would we coach? So we bring him in later on. Obviously you wouldn't be able to, but we bring him in later on. What are we saying to him in that position? What would you have done? You'd take more height. More height's probably better. If you're not,
what he was trying to achieve.
Yeah, that's right, absolutely. Because to me, like, he's one of the, he's a great player, and I just thought, what is that? And you know what? And when I went through a lot of this old footage, there's lots of those kicks.
It's not that old.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. That footage, there was a lot of kicks of that nature. So now I think that not so much the skill of the kicks changed now, it's more the thought process behind it. So we're thinking about what are we trying to achieve. That's the goal of the kick. The kick is what are we trying to achieve with it. Okay? I'll leave the videos and we'll come out to the park and I'll in the different areas of the field and what we look at for our kick. Okay? When we do get down the bottom there, I'll show you a couple of little ways that I really find that the players, if you can't show them how it's done, they don't tend to respect it. So I do a few things with the kicking. I talked to you before about the nose of the ball, and that dictates where we're going. I try to show them some drills that illustrate that, and I'll show you that down the end there. Thing is, very rarely, we start here, but very rarely do you have the ball here, okay? Very rarely would you end up here unless you're extremely unlucky. What I want to do is I want to talk about from here, what would we be trying to do? So if we receive the ball here, this is not our last tackle, like I said, very unusual for that to happen. What would we, firstly, if you've got a strong kicker, where are you going? And if you've got a weak kicker, where are you going? So from here, where would I try and work my sets to? Yeah, over here for a right foot kicker, I guess, if you unless they're comfortable on whichever foot. What I'll do is I'd try and work my way, just walk up the field with me as I go. I try and work my way as best I can to over here, so about 20 metres in from the sideline, okay? And that's dictated by, not by the distance coming out, but by the distance across. So at this point, you're not telling your kicker that, okay, you're going to kick from the 40 because he might not be at the 40. He might be just over here. So we need to have a tactic for either or. Best case scenario, okay, and you've got a really good kicker. My really good kicker starts on this side, and my secondary kicker starts on the short side, okay. And what I want from this position over here is I want my fullback to key on what they're seeing behind, okay. So if they're seeing the other fullback shade to that side with our kicker set up on this side, okay, I want him to go the short side and then kick straight